Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Red Devils for today's preview. Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. An opportunity for United to hopefully get back to winning ways. And not going to be an easy game for Forest tomorrow night at a 5:30 kickoff, because we're talking about a team that's actually currently ranked higher than United on the log. They are currently sitting in 7th place. With 6 wins out of their first 14 games, as well as 4 draws and 4 losses. You're looking United, on the other hand, and we've already lost 5 games this season. But a game we expect to win, a game we have to win, and at Old Trafford, for example, need a response, have to have a response. And what's going to be interesting is to see the team that Ruben Amorim puts out, because there will probably likely be rotation. There always has been. There were 5-6 changes made on Wednesday. I think we'll see more changes this weekend. So I've gone with a bit of a predicted side. But I also think that, it's two things. First of all, you got to rotate to kind of keep players fresh. But it's also about starting to test combinations, because certain players are back, for example, and we've also got a massive game against City in a week's time. And I think that this needs to be a little bit of almost like a practice match type of thing, in terms of a couple of combinations that I think we might want to see against City. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he gets that sort of balance right in terms of rotating players, as well as trying to give up opportunities to other players, as well as, again, trying to get those combinations right, getting players to play as many minutes as possible in potentially like new positions, for example, like a Marcus Rashford, who is quite new to play in that sort of dual 10 roles, and it's gonna take a while for him to adapt to that. Even a Garnacho, for example, who struggled recently, but we all know he's got the talent to get there. I think it's very, very strange how such a large part of the fan base have suddenly just given up on Garnacho. When you think of, you're talking about players ranked in the top 10 best youngsters in the world, goes through one bad patch and all the fans want to turn on him, which just shows you, unfortunately, how many plastic fans there are in the world still, and the fair weather fans who are very quick to jump on players as soon as they go through any sort of a rough patch and period. But I want to know what your team is. What kind of changes would you make? What sort of surprise maybe, and what sort of rotation would you like to see Ruben Amorim go with tomorrow against Nottingham Forest? This is what I've gone with, and I'll talk you through my reasoning. So in goal will be Andre Nana. I really hope we see this defense. This is our best back three. In theory, those are our 3 best defenders for the future anyway. It is Martinez, De Ligt, and Yoro. And I really think that after coming off the bench and looking really good, I'd really love to see Yoro get 45 minutes tomorrow. I'd love to see him get starting 45 minutes. Let him start, play 45 minutes. Mazraoui, for example, I actually haven't included in the side. Give him a bit of a rest. Bring him on for that second half. Keep him nice and fresh. I think that's a nice way of doing it. Martinez had a game off on Wednesday through the suspension, so he's fresh and ready to go. And I'd love to see De Ligt start, and then you potentially bring on Harry Maguire in the second half. So that is, for example, I think ideally, if everyone's fit and informed, that's probably the back 3 we probably have for most of our games, and definitely against somebody like Manchester City. So I'd love to see that being auditioned almost tomorrow against Forest. You then look at the 2 wingbacks. I've gone with Amad Diallo and Diego Dallo. I think it was absolutely criminal that Amad was benched on Wednesday. I think he added so much to the second half before those goals, which kind of just took us out of it. But he's in such good form, and I think that he really, really does suit the system and suits that position. And you could go to Malacia and give him more minutes on the left flank, but I think Dallo is probably a more sort of trustworthy type of player. Again, in terms of a bit of audition for where we might see next weekend, that kind of those sort of players. Mazraoui probably comes in against City, definitely comes in against Man City. In the midfield, we didn't see Casemiro match on Wednesday, and Koyemeni obviously missed out, so I expect those 2 to start. We might see a Christian Eriksen, for example, with Rashford not starting on over the week. I think he'll start tomorrow, and Bruno Fernandes will continue to start. He kind of always does. He's got such a good fitness history that he can continue to play. We don't have to worry too much about him. In all honesty. And then I think we might actually see Joshua Zirkzee start up front. I've got this feeling that we're going to rotate between him and Rasmus Højlund. I think Højlund will probably play against City, but I think Zirkzee will get another opportunity tomorrow. Maybe get Rasmus Højlund gets another chance. But we've generally seen a lot of changes for Ruben Amorim. He very rarely keeps the majority of the team the same. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Now, in terms of what this would look like against City, I think that Mazraoui comes in. Probably starts with where Yoro is, and Yoro potentially comes off the bench. I think that Ahmad has to start against City. I think you either go Casemiro, Ugarte, and hopefully you go Kobe Manu, because I think we really need him in the midfield. And then after that, maybe you go with an Ericsson where Rashford is. I do wonder, I think, if he might be best suited next to Bruno Fernandes in terms of creating those opportunities. Somebody that can pick a pass, for example, who has that lethal final ball, which we're kind of lacking at the moment. We're not creating other opportunities for our strikers, and they scored a couple goals against Everton and the likes, but we've got to give them more opportunities. And I think sometimes you need to look at, if you're going to get the width from Dallo and Ahmed, for example, maybe you need the passing range of an Eriksen next to a Bruno Fernandes rather than a Rashford. So lots of ways you can kind of jink and sort of, play with this team, really. But I don't think it'll be too different from that. But again, the one thing about Ruben Amorim is that he's very unpredictable. So we probably don't know exactly the type of team we'll necessarily see. Let me know what you would change and what team would you like to see down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.